as a level designer, I will decide there's a bandit camp and how many bandits are inside the camp, and how they are positioned and how they are going to fight the main character. It's the designer's job, the level designer's job. And these moments are the most important ones for you as a level designer. But this is not just that. It's also the part of player emotion, and is the part of player guidance, and is the part of the story that the level designers take care of. And they are not just placing stuff around, enemies, platforms, or whatever. They are also trying to influence and manipulate the player in a good way, so they have a more interesting experience. For example, they decide where the player looks. How do we manage the attention of the player? And we have right here a screenshot from Half-Life 2. When you leave the train station and you go out, there's, for example, a bird that is going into this direction and is guiding your attention towards your final destination of the level, towards the citadel. And also observe the positioning and the size of the final objective. Basically, the designers, the level designers, did here all they could, so they show you this is important. Also, the level designers are trying to make you feel fear. They try to make you feel clever. They are giving you these gentle nudges for you to understand and enjoy the level as much as possible. So you are not just working with those gameplay situations that we mentioned, but also makes the player like the main character, but also the designer, the main star of a very interesting movie. Because unlike movies, games are interactive. So what's the difference between level designer and game designer? And this is something that I've seen not well understood, the responsibilities of each, because those two roles are very different. And the level designer, he takes care of systems, basically. The level designer, the game designer will take care of how the character moves, how the enemy behaves, how the combat will take part, the camera, the controls, and so on. The level designer, on the other hand, will take all these systems, all these elements the game designer is providing, and create the actual game experience. Okay, I'm a game designer. I will give you these enemies. I will give you these weapons. And with these enemies and weapons, the level designer will create, I don't know, 3 to 200 hours campaign. And he will make this gameplay interesting and keep it fresh and create new situations that the player can explore and enjoy. To make comparison, for example, imagine in terms of Lego, the game designer creates the bricks. Okay, I will give you the enemies, I will give you the cards, the spells, the weapons, everything in the game. And the level designer puts them into place and creates an interesting experience with them. Questions? Are there any questions so far?
No questions? Okay, no questions.
Okay, means I made an amazing job of explaining the difference of level designer and game designer. and what level design is. Now, let's discuss about how great level design can teach without tutorials. Because these days there's a lot of games that will offer you lots of pop-ups and text, and it's translated in 19 languages, and it's giving you lots of cutscenes, and it's giving you a lot of what people call these days hand-holding. And lots of players are allergic to that. And we will see how level design can help with this problem. And the classical experience of example of this, how this is done, it's from many years ago, from Super Mario World 1.1, where the size of the game was so small, it needed to go on a very small cartridge. They didn't have enough space for text. They didn't have enough space for very strange and very convoluted cutscenes. They just had a few seconds to gain the attention of the player and explain how things go. And I will play it a bit so all of you can see how it goes. This is the beginning of the level. You can just go to the right and walk, and there's a toolbar, and the instinct is to jump, and jumping makes you gain the coins and understand what the question mark blocks are. But there's no words, there's no explanation. Everything is based on the instinct and the reaction of the player, and everything is taught so the player will react in a certain way. You start, and in 3 seconds, there's a Goomba incoming. And the instinct is, I will jump. And you jump, and the question block. And then you jump again and land on the Goomba and kill it. And this is basically everything that you need to know in the beginning of the game. Not one word, not one text. Everything is instinctive. Everything is very clear and intuitive for the player. Now, let's take another example, another word. It's a later game, a few years after Mario, but again, it's a game without any text. And if we are to appeal to people with low attention these days, people who spend most of their time on TikTok, we need to understand how to create this very instinctive kind of tutorials and how to get the player in. So it's the beginning of the game. There's a cutscene, an experiment gone wrong that teleports you in another world, as the title says. And I will let you teleport. You basically appear below water. And what's the instinct when you are underneath the surface of the water? You press up. And again, without any text, without any particular indication, you have the player understand the game controls without any explanation. And everything it's discovered naturally. And the last example would be Portal. And we have the level 3 after you basically learn the basics of the movement. You start using for the first time the portal gun. And they did it in a very interesting way. They give and they show you basically one fixed portal, and the fact that you can shoot at the walls. And this is it. You have the problem, you have a very clear solution, and you learn to think with portals very naturally, very simply, and use that build in this this knowledge for the rest of the game. And this is the way that lots of games build knowledge without the players' effort, without the players having to put too much effort into it. Okay, so the takeaways. Basically, as a level designer and I don't know, ambassador of the game, you need to design situations, not instructions. You need to trust the player's instincts. You need to test your onboarding sequence without words. What do you think is the biggest problem today in terms of not necessarily indie games, but in general? Where do people drop out of the game? Any thoughts?
Anyone know how to respond to this? No.
Well, yeah. Tell me.
Can I respond this?
Sure.
Yeah. I believe it's when the player meets the first problem and he has no idea how to beat it. And there is no tutorial, there is no anything, the level design doesn't help. And he just quit because...
Yeah, basically, when you start the game didn't do anything pleasant for you. Yeah, they didn't build your trust, so to speak. And there's two extremes here. One is I'm not guiding you well, and you don't know what to do. And the other extreme is I will guide you so well that you have no freedom. You have to do things in a certain way. And one is the too much hand-holding, one is the not enough hand-holding. And great level design can guide and can show you in a very instinctive way how to do it. And here, of course, are just 3 examples, very good examples, that can teach you how to make it in a natural way. Because especially, let's say you have an indie demo. You make a demo for your indie title and you don't get wish lists. Why? Why there are no wish lists? Because people didn't get your game. Why they didn't get your game? Because the first level design situation sucked. And this is why it's important to understand how level design can teach without tutorials. Okay, do we have any questions now?
No, still no questions.
It's okay. Next, let's see how basically how great level design can guide without arrows. Basically, one of the first and most important roles of the level designer is to create those level situations that we discussed. And some of them can actually teach you things without any text. But the second function of the level designer is also to guide the player. And we have a lot of scandals these days. For example, the one of the yellow paint, where people felt it's the game, it's too in your face. It's putting yellow paint to show you everything and in every direction. It's not allowing you any exploration. It's not allowing you any agency. So smart level designers have a bag of tricks on how to guide without arrows. And let's put two examples, one against the other. We have Assassin's Creed with this very, very full map of icons that people felt very bad about. And we have basically Dark Souls that has no map. And Dark Souls guides you well. People didn't get lost in Dark Souls, even though it's a complex game. And they did this without any map. Well, basically, this is kind of a white lie because it has a map, only it's not something that you press M and pops up. It's something that you see sometimes in the beginning of a level. And it's you see everything from above, and the player already thinks, okay, I will take this bridge and probably I will get to this church and I will go to the left and explore these ruins and so on and so forth. It's something called foreshadowing. Basically, you are showing the player something from the future, so to speak. You are giving him a glimpse of what's coming. And it's a guidance technique, but it's also a retention technique because you are showing him something, you are giving him an objective, and he will basically follow that direction and stay in the game because you are giving something to go towards. This is not the only guiding technique that level designers have. Also, there is illumination. Again, a screenshot from Dark Souls, and you look at the access points of this room, and each of them has a light. Basically, the rule is, if it's something important, shine a light on it. And it's not something intrusive. It's not yellow paint. It's not an arrow that is telling you, go this way. You have to go this way. It's just something discreet that the player will feel good about discovering. And there's also something called breadcrumb. Basically, you have some small cues, some small goodies that you show the player where the direction he should go. For example, in here, you have 2, and it's clear that, okay, I have to go this way. This is somewhere here should be a ledge, and this is the platform that I will end up on. And you are guiding him by giving him goodies. And there are other techniques as well. For example, we were discussing earlier about animation. We have this bird that is flying towards the citadel, and Valve have this allergy to cutscenes, so they wanted everything to be in game and everything to guide in the most natural way. So they have this kind of animations that are giving your view towards something important, but they also have sound. First, when you disembark from the train, you have this guy telling him, hello, this is me, and tell you about the destination that you arrived on. And also, there's a lot of other techniques here that are used. I will not show all of them. Another is animation again. This guy is going this way. So if you follow him, for example, you will know what is the exit from the station. Let's discuss the next takeaway. Basically, there's this principle in cinema that says show, don't tell. People are not very keen to listening stuff. Okay, this guy, it's like this and like that. They want to be shown that this guy is like this and like that. And it's the same in level design. For example, initially in Mario games, the coins acted as a guide. You have to go this way. And most recently, they are becoming even more subtle. For example, this is a risk-reward situation. These are the lots of coins, and you can take them, but it's more difficult. You can be eaten by the plants, and this is the easier way. You can go the other way, and it's easier, but you won't get all the rewards from the level. So, show, don't tell. You leave some trails. You don't show errors. You foreshadow the important parts. Okay, this is what you will do or see in the future. And you respect the agency of the player. If you handhold him, like, I don't know, you have the Final Fantasy 13 1-hour tutorial that put you on rails and didn't allow you to do anything for an entire hour. And then you killed the player agency and you killed their interest in your game. Let me guess, there are no questions. Anyone this time?
Okay, we have one question here.
Yes, one question. Tell me.
I will translate. Wait.
Thank you.
Você pode usar esse reconhecimento de padrões, mas sempre ser algo muito artificial para trabalhar de reconhecimento de padrões. Porque o que acontece, né? Quando você vai fazendo isso, o jogador vai montar aqui e ele está seguindo o caminho no qual você já predispois a ele no level design, né? Só que isso pode acabar tirando o jogador do próprio jogo, daqui você tenta permitir ele. Aí até que ponto seria necessário para, ou então seria interessante parar talvez de fazer esses padrões, né, esses reconhecimentos.
We have one question here. It's about all these concepts that you are showing us, these principles. Where is the limit to use them? Like, you always use them, the player will notice there is a pattern, you know, and
when it's too much, basically.
Yeah, if you use too much, what happens, you know? The player will notice that there is a pattern and will feel like there is no freedom, maybe? That's the question. What do you think about
that's a very good question and a very legit question, and I'm happy to answer. Basically, there's two things here. When repeating too often a technique makes it too obvious, and this is something that you need to learn. Like, you cannot use lights all the time. You use lights, and then you use breadcrumbs, and then you use foreshadowing, and you alternate between all these techniques. You don't, in the beginning of the game, maybe you put more of them, but later in the game, you just put something that's only one technique, not more of them. Another side of this question is, how do you make the player feel free? And this is another, I don't know, set of techniques. You give him freedom to explore by showing him, I don't know, different kinds of crossroads. You go into a direction, but if you go this way, you find a goodie, you find something hidden. You go into the other direction, you see a door, but there's also a ladder, and take the ladder and it's something interesting. It's something that is called basically fingers, because it's like small fingers that are going from the main way away, and are giving you the illusion of freedom. This is for more linear games. For more, I don't know, budget-friendly games, you have alternate routes. And I don't know, years ago in Halo, you always had at least 3 routes that will allow you to go through the level. And one was the direct route, and you would go and shoot enemies. The other was the stealth route. Okay, I will go to the left and hide myself between after these boulders and so on. And the third one was like an athletic route. I can bypass the enemies or flank them or shoot them from behind, but I need to jump very well to reach these places that allow me to do that. And this is another way to offer the player more freedom. There's combinations of that, of course. Sometimes the level is more linear. Sometimes the level it will open up into an area like you had in Uncharted 3, I believe. You leave the jeep and there's just stuff around you and you just walk. And the thing is, a level that is the same all the time, it's boring. So sometimes it's very linear. You have like some corridors and you fight enemies, and afterwards you have a bigger area, and afterwards you have more routes to take, and afterwards all these routes converge, and then again you can go into more directions. Now, how do you find out that what you are doing is right or wrong? You have people play it, and if they get lost, there's not enough guidance. If they get bored, there's too much guidance. Same for the alternatives, the paths that you have. If he just goes, like, I don't know, like in an IKEA store, okay, this way, this way, this way, this way, and I'm done, it's not really, it's boring. If you give him alternate routes, if you give him a bit of freedom, you will see the people who play it that they find it more interesting. So my advice is, have people play your level as soon as possible. As soon as it makes sense, before the graphics are done, you have just the gray boxes, have someone play it and understand what's going on. He spent 1 hour in this room not finding the exit. Okay, now you can put a light on it. He missed some opportunities. Maybe they are not properly signposted. And it's always a back and forth. But you will learn when too much is too much, when it's not enough, by basically having people play it. I don't know if this this very long rambling answered the question. I hope so.
Yeah, good. We have. Tem mais alguma pergunta? Não? Okay, no more questions.
Okay, good. They may be seeing me speaking too much when they ask me a question. Okay, next. How we can tell a story without words, and it's what we call basically environment storytelling. And it's very important because, again, nobody wants to read half a screen of text about who is Kratos or who is Captain Shepard from Mass Effect. But instead, you show their rooms. Where do they live? And you have this room from Normandy where Captain Shepard lives. And you have this cabin where Kratos from God of War lives. And you feel the differences between those two characters. Okay, you have Captain Shepard that he likes to, I don't know, collect trophies. He likes to brag about his past. Okay, meet all these kind of ships. I did all this kind of stuff. He has a very comfy bed, very good for the romantic encounters as well. And it's kind of I don't know, badass that is in touch with his past and what he's done. He feels very good about it. And you have Kratos that is the opposite. He doesn't have a good relationship with his past. There's nothing to remind him about his past. Everything it's as he is. It's Sparta. It's just training stuff, just stuff to make food. There's nothing extra, nothing to remind him of who he was. It's just a very pragmatic kind of way of life. And just seeing these rooms from the level design, you understand how each character is, what is their personality, what is their goal, their purpose. Next, you have BioShock, for example, and you go there and there's nobody explaining you in the beginning. Hello, you arrived here and something very bad happened and so on and so forth. No, but you go and you see all these cracks, all these blood spatters, everything. It's showing you that something very bad happened there. And you see the blood, you see the dead people, you see the everything that was out of place in there. And you understand that a tragedy hit, and it's creating also a mystery, what happened there. And it's also giving you a feeling of unease, like, okay, these spaces that are not really well maintained, something happened, something bad happened, and it's giving you this claustrophobia kind of feeling. And this is all level design. It's not text. It's not something telling you, you should feel like this, you should feel like that. It's just stuff that the level designer put in there and made it available to the player. We have also NieR Automata. You see these broken cities, and again, it's explaining to you that something happened in this world. You see these small human characters, communities, and you see the nature that won over the civilization. And again, it's putting you the question, what happened here? Basically, the takeaway is how you can make the story and explain the place in a way that doesn't require text, doesn't require words. And you do this without the player, having to put any effort. He just sees these things and he thinks to himself or themselves. So again, you use light, you use contrast to shape the mood, to show the place that he's visiting, and you kind of do it like a scene from theater. You kind of do it like you would show in a movie. The sets are basically guiding you understanding about what that place is. Again, questions?
I have one question. Can you go back in the Kratos room and Shepard?
Yeah.
Okay. When you say level design can tell a story without words, as a level designer, you will not make all the assets, right? This is the environmental artist's job, right?
Yes.
Can you explain the difference between the two of those? And the level designer, what's the process to make the level tells a story without these assets?
Yes, and that's a very good question, because there's a big confusion between environmental artist and level designer. The level designer will come, for example, with the concept of the level. This is happening here, this is happening here, and then here, and the quests, the objectives are this, this, and this. And here you meet 3 enemies, and here you meet this quest giver, and here you do that. And he makes out of it something that it's called a blockout. Basically, some boxes without textures, and he's showing you, this is the room of Kratos. And maybe here it's a text that says, here it's a shield. And together with the blockout, he's also coming with some guidance and references for the artist. I want this fire to look like this. I want these walls to look like that. And he's researching and showing this to the artist, and giving him also the blocks, the gray boxes that we discussed. And the artist, on top of this, he will add the stuff that the level designer wanted. Like, for example, the level designer will say, I want here a display of the ships Captain Shepard met during this game. And the artist will do this. So it's always a back and forth, but the artist is basically shaping and creating the vision of the level designer. He's not just someone that executes the vision of the level designer. It's always a back and forth. Like the artist will say, I don't think this space it's satisfying visually. Here maybe you should have a set piece. Here you should see something nice, something beautiful to create some emotion. Or he will say, it's a bit cramped. You don't get to see I don't know, properly the textures. You don't get to see the graphics of the game. Maybe we should make it a bit bigger so the player sees how beautiful our game is. So it's always a back and forth, but in the end, the level designer is the concept. The level designer is the gray boxing, the blockout, and the artist is the one who's doing the textures, who's doing the final illumination. Because as a level designer, you put some lights in there, but to actually look good, the artist will do all the things. And this is why it's so important to have players test the blockout and see how it feels. Because once the final graphics are in place, it's very hard to modify the level. If at some point you realize, wait, there's a very big distance between these two gameplay situations and the player is getting bored, after you finish the level, it's very complicated to modify this. So on short, this would be the difference between environmental artist, that's the art, the final asset, and the level designer comes with the concept and the blockout. I hope this answered the question. Well, to continue then, and we'll see at the end if there are more questions. Basically, how the great level design controls the player side. Most of the games out there, and this is a very important takeaway for all of you, are played because how the player feels. Even big strategies, even puzzle games that are about thinking, in the end, it's about the player feeling smart. And that's why in your games, I think something changed. I hope you are still seeing the presentation. That's why basically the level designer, it's making people think one thing or another. And we have Last of Us, for example.
Stefan, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
Yeah, we can't hear you. Our equipment is out of battery. I'm so sorry about that. We are trying to fix it. 1 minute, please.
Okay, let me try the chat.
Agora?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Good now. It's all good now.
Okay, good.
Continue.
Okay, let's continue then. So, I was saying it's very important for you, not only as a level designer, but also as a game designer, to pace the player's emotions. And a good level, it's the one that will make you feel something in a certain way. And the bad level, it's one that it's doesn't have the right pacing, doesn't make you feel things as you should. And we have the Last of Us hotel basement level. That is a very good example of intensity, emotion, and pacing. It was very well done in terms of that. So you have Joel and Ellie. They arrive at this abandoned hotel. They look for supplies, and at some point, they fight with some looters, and he gets separated. Joel, he falls down an elevator shaft, and it's basically this is the moment when things kick in. They start being dangerous, and he must find his way out. He's separated from Ellie. And these are the gameplay situations that create emotion in this level. You have something that is low intensity. You are curious, you are unease, you feel unease, and you explore stuff around. It looks dangerous, you don't know what's going on there, but still it's low intensity. Then you have a medium intensity situation. You arrive at the door, it's locked. You need two things to open it. One, it's the key card, and the other one, it's the generator to create electricity. And then you have high intensity. You start meeting monsters, you fight them, and they stress you out. They appear in a surprising way. They ambush you, and then it's again low intensity. Okay, I had something intense, and then I found the generator. Things are looking up. It's good. And then, because of the sounds the generator makes, all the monsters are coming towards you, and you fight the monsters. You find the mini boss, and it's the climax. It's the most intense moment of the level. And then you have the goodies. You have the low intensity. You escape. You are safe. You find the weapon bench, and you can upgrade your stuff in there as reward for all the things that you've been through. And this is a very thought out level. Why? Because it varies intensity. If the intensity is too equally high or equally low, it's going to get either too frustrating or too boring. So you need, like in a good movie, to make it go up and down. You give him something intense and things calm down, and again there's something intense, and so on. And tension needs it's better felt when there is contrast, when there is up and down, and leave the player time to breathe. We have, as we say, these spikes of intensity. So basically, we are controlling the player's heartbeat through these intensity spikes. Now things are calm, now things are intense, and we are controlling what the player feels. You will see that the activity types are also changing. If you have combat, again, something gets boring. So you have combat, you have puzzle moments, you have sneaking moments, you have different components of the game. Very rarely these days the game has only one pillar, only just fighting, or only just exploration. Usually there's at least the big titles alternate between what the player does. And to finish up here, the important thing is the rhythm. You have tension, release, build up, climax, and cool down. These are the components of a good level. If you start the level and it's too hard, and then it's going too easy, and then it's not as hard as before, people will sense it, sense there is no build-up, they sense it's not. And basically, this kind of diagram is what level designers use for any rank. These are the situations. This is the time. At the 4th minute, we stop exploration, we start fights. At 6 minutes, exploration again, and so on. And this is something that you tweak until the level feels right. And again, this is not something that the player knows per se, but they feel it, and they react well to a good pacing versus something that has bad pacing. And you'll see in a lot of reviews, the game has bad pacing. What's that? It's this thing. You are not controlling the player's heartbeat in the right way. Now, questions. What else do we have here?
We have 2 questions here.
Yes. Tell me.
Isso eles tentam tirar realmente. Qual seria o ideal?
We have a good question here.
Good.
When you playtest your game and there is an emotion that comes out, that you're not planning to be, what happens? You incorporate into the game, or you try to change for other emotion?
It depends. For example, if it's a good emotion, like, I don't know, suddenly the player feels a lot of fear. And it's good because he just became complacent. He learned the game, he has a lot of stuff, but suddenly there's something very dangerous. And it's good, it's getting him out of the comfort zone. It's getting him out of the boredom. Yes, it's good, keep it. If the emotion is, this is very frustrating, I will stop playing this game because I don't understand what should I do. And this is basically the number one reason why a lot of people quit games these days. I didn't know what to do. Or I don't know where to go. And this is a very bad emotion. You need to deal with it in a way or another. But at least in the beginning of the game, you need to be open about what the game could be or what the level could be. For example, in Asphalt 8 was the first mobile racing game that had like real physics. We had either Bullet or the Havoc engine, I cannot remember. But we realized that we can do some awesome acrobatics. The car can turn, rotate, and go through the ramps and have some very interesting moments. So it was fun. And we made this the star of the level design of the game. Okay, the more acrobatic it is, the more interesting it is. And you have, I don't know, the Barcelona level where you jump and there's a military ship and you land on it and you jump again and there's some planes over your head. And this is what we tried. Or you go through the walls of a mall. This was the most thrilling thing. And we listened to it and we made it interesting. So yeah, it's a very good decision to pay attention to what people are telling you. Another example is when they did Portal, everyone perceived the game as a tutorial because all the games, all the levels had new elements, and people felt like, okay, this is a very long tutorial. When is the game starting? And that was the game. And what they did, they added GLaDOS, they added the story and all the stuff that is happening, and it's making the game more mysterious and more interesting. And this is how they saved it. So they basically paid attention to the players, paid attention to the testers, and made the changes. So the game was good. I don't know if it answered the question. I hope so. But yes, you should pay attention to the players. Thank you.
We have one more question here.
Sure.
I was curious about when you spoke about this sort of up and down gameplay. It kind of reminded me of Uncharted a little, the Uncharted series, because it has a loop kind of gameplay where you have high action, low action, and some middle sections where you have puzzles and stuff. So I kind of heard critiques to this series because they say it's too repetitive. So I wanted to ask you if you know how to find a middle ground to where it's not too repetitive, but it's still very engaging to the player.
Well, one thing that you need to understand is that everything, no matter how good, will have critics. If you make the best game of the century, somebody will say, I do not like it because it has the color pink in the menu or whatever. Or like we had in N.O.V.A 2, there is no knife in the game, 1 star. And that was it. So, but to answer your question more directly, the usual answer is playtest. You playtest the game, you see how people are doing it, and it's not the easiest decision, because there's balance between budget. Okay, I put 5 billion weapons, and the player will never get bored, because he will do always something new, like, I don't know, Borderlands way. Or I'm putting so many different things that I will always keep the attention of the player. But most of the studios, even big studios, don't have the budget for this. You don't have infinite money, you don't have infinite time. So you put some stuff and you space it out through the game. Like, I don't know, for N.O.V.A 1, we had one weapon to be the star of each level. You got the shotgun, the level is built around the shotgun. A very classic example. You got the sniper rifle, the level is built around the sniper rifle, and so on. You need to keep the attention of the player in there. Now, level design and what you're doing, fortunately, are not the only things that retain the player. There's new mechanics, there's new enemies, there's story progression, there's also a skill progression. I'm getting better at this game, and I want to play it more, to do more headshots or whatever. So you have all these progression paths that usually keep the player occupied. Now, regarding what you said about Uncharted, you need to look also at the results. Has the game sold well? Yes. That means maybe this is not a real problem. Maybe we are doing something right. And maybe we should, of course, you should one-up your game. You should always, the guys from Epic, when they were doing Gears of War, they had this table that was called Bigger, Better, More. And compared from Gears of War 1 to Gears of War 2, what do we have that it's bigger? What do we have that it's better? What do we have that is more? And it's a very good philosophy to create a better game, a better sequel for your audience. But basically, for a lot of your questions, always the answer is understand your audience and playtest. And a lot of failures that you see out there, you see them because they didn't kill the game soon enough. Basically, the games that fail are prototypes that somehow didn't get canceled. And wherever you have a good idea and you prototype it, if it doesn't work, kill it fast, kill it soon, and try something else.
Zamfir, I'm sorry about that, but you have only 3 minutes.
It's okay. That was the presentation. The rest was about my level design class, but it's okay. I'm not doing this to promote myself. I'm doing this to help. So any questions that you have about portfolios, about industry experience, about anything, let me know, and I will answer gladly.
Okay. You can promote a little bit fast.
Okay.
Okay.
Basically, it's a level design class. It's teaching you about gameplay situation, about guidance, about pacing, emotion, about how to make the level design documentation, about Unreal in our case, and about rapid prototyping. Basically, what you will have, you will end up with a portfolio-worthy level, the actual portfolio, some interview training, some good understanding of level design principles and concepts, everything to get you hired. Now, you can have the questions. So anything that you wanted to know about the gaming industry and you were afraid to ask me now.
How people can get access to your classes?
Well, basically, it's the link. It's in the in the beginning of the presentation. If I'm making it available, it should be here. I'm teaching this, and this will get you to the landing page. I also have a LinkedIn account. You can find me there. I post 2-3 times a week about level design if you are interested.
Okay, thank you for your presentation.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you again. So
Okay.
we will start with another presentation now. Okay.
Sure. Take care, and it was nice presenting to you. Bye-bye.